this introduction to exercise for older adults. This is just a quick and simple routine that you can easily do at home, no equipment needed, and it should be a nice easy way to get a little bit more activity into your daily life. So before we begin, just make sure that your area is safe, have a look around, make sure there's nothing that you could trip over and that we're not going to slip on the floor surface. And then you can either work barefoot, which is great if you're comfortable, really good for strengthening the ankles, or if you'd be more comfortable to work in shoes, then just do whatever you're going to feel safest doing. Then to start us off, we'll just have a look at the posture. So make sure that we're not slumping or rounding the shoulders forward. We want to be nice and open across the collarbones. Make sure the knee joints aren't locked, so we've got a little bit of softness around the knee, and we've got equal pressure between the front of the foot and the heel, so we're not leaning forwards or back. And then from here, we're just going to start very gently walking on the spot, completely at your own level. So if you want to start just leaving a toe to the floor while you get a feeling of stability, then do that for the time being. And if you're comfortable, then we can have quite an exaggerated walk, lifting the knees a bit higher, letting the arms swing at the sides. And the whole way through this video, everything just be done at your own pace. So anything that you're not sure about, do a smaller version, sit the exercise out if you're not comfortable. Make sure you're always working at your own level and that you feel safe and confident with the moves. We're then going to have a little side step. So again, start small and just take it at your own pace. If you feel comfortable here, then we can have a nice wide step side to side. And then once we've got the rhythm going, we're going to add a roll of the shoulders in there. So just bringing the shoulders up to the ears, pulling the shoulder blades in towards the spine, and then gliding them down your back. So we're just circling round each time we step across to the side. And then from here, we will move to a bit of a rotation. So we're going to reach one arm across, but as we do, we want the back foot to lift and pivot with us so that we keep the knee joint safe. So both feet are always in contact with the floor, but we're just lifting the heel of the back foot, keeping the toe down as we reach that arm across in front. And then try and have a light activation of your abdominals as we go through all of these exercises really. So we're just gently pulling in around the waist so that we've got some support there. And then we're going to come back to a walk on the spot. And we're going to build into a rotation of the arms, but again, see how your shoulders are feeling. So we'll start small, fingertips to the shoulders and just leading with the elbow. And you might find that this is all your shoulders are comfortable to do, in which case stay here. If the shoulders are feeling good, then we can start building this up, taking them gradually higher each time we go round. And if that's still totally comfortable, then you can straighten the arm and bring a straight arm all the way around in a circle. And then still keeping the feet moving if we can, but feel free to give them a rest if you're tired. We're just going to circle the wrists. So circling in one direction and then switching to come back the other way. Just getting the wrists moving as well. And then we'll pause for a moment. So we'll have the feet still, about hip width apart so that we feel nice and stable. Check your posture again, so soft knees. Make sure we're not leaning forwards or back. And we're still nice and open across the chest. And we're just going to gently warm up the neck. So we're not coming too far in either direction. We're just tipping gently forwards and then gently back. We want to be quite careful that we don't squash the joints at the back of the neck. So keep nice and tall, reaching away through the crown of the head. And then we're going to switch to look out over each shoulder. So we're just turning the head side to side. Still with these, take it at your own level. So make sure we don't get any strain in the neck by trying to go too far too soon. So we can start with a very small range of motion and then gradually build it each time. And then finally with the neck, we're just going to tilt the ear to the shoulder each time, trying to take it directly side to side. And again, start small, we can just build gradually as we go through. Check the posture, make sure we're still just gently engaging the abdominals by pulling in around the waist. And then we're going to build that move to come into the rest of the spine. So start reaching the fingertips down towards the floor each side. Start smooth, try and keep your body straight, make sure we're not leaning forwards or twisting here. We want just a straight lean to the side. And then you should feel that this is using the abdominal muscles in the middle. So as we pull back to the top, these muscles on the lengthened side are shortening to draw us back up. Lovely. So for our next move, we're going to mobilise the hip joint. You might want to use your chair for stability here. So if you're not confident having your weight on one leg, just hold on to the back of your chair. And we're going to be, with that toe just lightly on the floor, circling the knee. But watch out, when we bring the weight onto this leg, don't let your hip push out to the side. Try and engage the muscles around the hip here so the glutes are working so that we can stay nice and stable. And then we're just going to do a few circles in each direction on each leg. So circling the knee outwards first of all, and then opposite direction, bringing the knee back in. If you feel very unstable, you can also have a chair the other side of you so that you've got something for both hands to hold on to. Same on the other side, so make sure we don't push out with that hip joint. Try and stay nice and upright, keep the pelvis level, and then we're just circling that knee first in one direction for a few rotations and then back the other way. And if you're totally fine with your balance, you can of course do this without holding on to anything. Just judge for yourself what's going to be safe. And then we're going to sit on the chair. So make sure that your chair is backed up to a wall here so that it can't go anywhere as we sit down. And we're going to come down to the chair and just start warming up the ankles by lifting the toes first and then the heels. So still watch for your posture on the chair. Make sure we're not hunching. Keep the eye line straight forward, chin raised, shoulders slightly pulling back. And we're just nice and gently going through these ankle movements back and forth. And then we're going to bring a bit of work into the hip flexors. You can hold on to the chair if you feel a bit unstable here, but try and use a connection in your abdominals for stability. We'll just do a few small raises of each leg. And again, if this is quite a lot of work for you, just keep the toe on the floor, make it smaller, keep it at your own level. And then we're going to come to warming up the ankles. So for this, you want to be able to rotate your ankle. We can either reach the leg out in front and move from here. If you're comfortable, you can hold on to that leg. Just make sure that the movement's coming from the ankle joint and that we don't end up waving the whole leg around here. If you find that it's hard to not use your knee joint, then holding on to the shin might help you. And then a few circles in each direction with the ankle. And then we're just going to try and tilt the foot side to side. So the sole of the foot is tilting inwards and then out to the outside edge. And then we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So same as before, you might be more comfortable to work here. Just leave that foot extended in front, or you can hold it closer up to your chest, whatever works best for you. A few circles in each direction, making sure it's coming from the ankle joint and we've not got the whole leg moving. And then we're just going to try again a few of these, just a small move, tilting that foot side to side. So we're working these sides of the ankle here. Lovely. And then making sure that we're able to sit nice and upright on the chair, so your feet are planted on the floor. We want to keep the knees level with each other for this exercise. We're just going to have a spine rotation. So to start off with, we're going to have the thumbs attached to the chest. Inhale in the center, and then as we exhale, just try and use the muscles around your waist to gently rotate you to the side. And then inhale back into the center. And then again, exhale and twist around to the other side. So as we breathe out each time, we can feel that we're just gently pulling in around the waist and using these muscles to guide the upper body, so the rib cage and the shoulders are rotating across to the side. But try and keep that breathing pattern because it will help your movement. So we exhale to the side, inhale to the center, and then exhale across to the other side. So we'll do one more to each side. and then we're going to try and use the muscles in our back. So we'll give the shoulders a couple of rolls here just to wake those muscles up again. And then holding the arms in front, we're going to imagine that we're pulling as if we're rowing. So you have to create the resistance yourself. Imagine that you're pulling your arms back through treacle, and we're just trying to squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other. Don't come too far back because it will put your shoulder into a strange position, but just coming to about level with your body, with the elbows, and we're trying to wake up the muscles in the back by squeezing the shoulder blades in as we pull back. And then our next exercise, which is also great for the shoulders, we're just going to bring the arms into a W position. So if you start with the hands in front, check the posture again, make sure we haven't come into a slouch here, and we're just going to bring them out to the sides. But this is quite hard for some people if your posture is a bit forwards in the shoulders, so you might find that you can only come to here. Just wherever is comfortable for you, don't push anything too far. Make sure that it feels completely comfortable for where your joints are willing to go. And if we're here, absolutely fine, just carry on working in that position, and then slowly over time you'll be able to build a little bit more movement into that joint. And again here we're trying to use the muscles in between the shoulder blades, so squeeze your shoulder blades in towards your spine to get that movement. So next we're going to do a few squats standing up and down from our chair. So this is great for strengthening the legs. Again, make sure that we've got the feet planted on the floor. So we're going to try and push down through the heels, and we're going to reach the arms out in front. Inhale first, and then exhale, push down through the heels and stand to the top. Inhale at the top, and then exhale to lower back down to the chair. So if you feel unsure in the beginning, by all means you can use your hands to steady you as you start off, but we'd like to build to being able to do this just with the strength of the legs. But this is why it's important to have your chair backed against a wall, so you know that as you're sitting down, the chair is still going to be exactly where you left it. And then working with your breathing again will help you. So inhale at the top and then exhale, so we've got a bit of abdominal connection to help give us that control, and try and lower slowly down into your chair. So we'll just do a couple more. You might find that just as you get towards the chair you lose control a bit and drop down. Perfectly normal, and as your muscles strengthen you'll be able to gain control over this movement and keep it nice and controlled speed the whole way through. And then this time when we get to the top we're going to stay standing, and we're going to look at a calf raise. So again, you might want to have your chair here for stability, a chair both sides if you're feeling quite unstable. Make sure the knee joints are soft again, we haven't pushed those back and locked the joint. And we're just going to come up onto the balls of the feet. So we're just going to press into the balls of the feet and raise the heels up off the floor. And with this move we're really watching out for not letting the ankles roll out to the side. So it's quite common for ankles to want to roll over here. Try and keep plenty of weight through your big toe and the ball of the foot, and it should help you keep the ankles straight. If you can only do a small raise, just start small. But if you're feeling confident, try and come to the top, pause for a moment at the top, and then lower down nice and slowly, so that we're really challenging those muscles and building strength. And this is very good for ankle stability if we practice this over time. So we'll do a couple more of these here. Keep checking the knees, check the posture. It'll be better for your balance if you can keep a nice upright posture and not let shoulders slump forward. And then we're going to come to another balancing move. So again, start with your chair, start with a hand on the chair if you need to. The whole move is going to look like this. So we're going to bring the arms down as we bring one knee up. But you might find that in the beginning you want to practice holding on, just doing the legs. So see how far we can lift one knee at a time first. And if you're not comfortable to lift, come back to this little smaller step, keeping a toe on the floor. And you might want to come back to that to build the arms in while you get used to the coordination. But if everything's going well, We want to try and have an extended stand on that one leg, watching again that we don't drop into the hip. So same as we were talking about before, try not to let this hip push to the side. Keep nice and upright so the pelvis is level the whole way through. And then just seeing how high you can bring the knee, but keeping it within your capability. Don't leave yourself too unstable. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement again, just activating muscles around the hips. So we can pop our chair out of the way. So first of all, we're just going to tap one heel to the floor in front, bring the toes back up towards you. So we're using the muscles in the front of the shin to pull the toes back up towards the knees from each step. And then we're going to take one leg out to the side. So we're going to try and do 5 all on one side here. Just tapping that foot across. Again, hold on if you're not so sure about the stability here, and tapping the foot to the floor will help you find your balance. And then same on the other side. And keep watching that we don't drop into the hips again. Keep the abdominals engaged for support. We're then going to take the first leg, come back to the first leg and take that back at 45 degrees. So we should be able to feel the glutes switching on here. So as we take that leg back, the muscles are working to move the leg. They're also working the opposite side to keep us stable in the pelvis. So same on the second leg, a few taps back at 45 degrees. And then finally we'll do a few taps to each side, just taking that leg straight back behind. So again, make sure that the rest of the posture isn't moving out of place. Keep the abdominals engaged so that we've got support in the spine. And again, a small distance, if you don't feel too stable, if you're feeling comfortable, we can reach that leg right back behind. And then we're going to challenge the balance a little bit further. So we're going to come back to our side steps, but we're going to step across, shift our weight to that foot, and then either drag that foot along the floor and keep it down here, or if you feel very stable, lift that and come into a balance. And we'll just do a couple of steps in each direction. So step out to the side, shift your weight, and then bring that foot into a balance. Hold for a couple of counts if you're able to here. And then coming back, step, shift your weight to that foot, and then bring that toe in, either along the floor or in the air, depending on how stable you're feeling. So step across, shift the weight, and then balance on that leg. And this is a really important movement to be comfortable with, because it's the same as what happens with our balance as we're walking. We've got to get used to shifting the weight from one leg to the other and being able to hold our pelvis level when we're on one leg in between each step. So we'll just come back to our starting point. So stepping across, shift the weight to that foot, and then into a balance. And if you're unstable with this, you can have a chair in front of you, hands resting on the back, and try practicing from there if you need to. So we're then going to, just as our last move, come back to those squats standing up and down from the chair. And this time we're going to add in raising the arms into a shoulder press at the top. So if you were struggling with the squat already, then again you can use your hands to help stabilise you on the way up, but try to build away from that if you can. And if everything's going fine, reach the arms out in front, exhale as we stand, and then palms facing forwards, bring the hands up overhead. Everything back in. We can either reach the arms in front to stand down, or you can keep them a bit closer in. Just see where you feel stable. And you might find that this arms in front helps give you a bit of a counterbalance standing up and down from the chair. And then these you can go a little bit faster, so if these are feeling quite easy for you, by all means speed them up. But you should feel a little bit of an increase in your temperature and your heart rate, because we've got a full body movement here, so we're using everything. Legs, arms, abdominals. And then to finish off after these, we're just going to cool down with a few more side steps as we did in the beginning. So we're just side to side, nice and slow now, rolling the shoulders back. So just gradually slowing this down so that we can let the heart rate return back to normal. And then finally, we'll just have a couple of stretches. So first of all, to stretch the muscles of your chest, you just take the arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Really think about being nice and wide across the collarbones here, just pulling the arms back, whatever position is comfortable for you. And we'll hold that for a few counts. Make sure we're not locking the knees, make sure abdominals are still engaged. Then we're going to stretch the calf, so this muscle down here. So we're going to push that foot back behind us, and again you can hold onto a table, you can push into a wall here, which can help with the stretch. Just make sure that you're not leaving yourself feeling unstable. Push the back heel down to the floor and you should feel a stretch in the back of that lower leg. And then hold each stretch for a few counts. Nice relaxed breathing pattern as well, as the body's cooling down, so it knows that it can relax the muscles. And then finally we're going to stretch the hamstrings, so I'll just turn my chair to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. We'll need to be fairly close to the edge of the chair here. We're going to have one leg out straight in front, so make sure that knee isn't bent upwards, and then we're just going to lean forwards towards here so that we can feel a stretch up the back of the leg there. And again, hold for a few counts on each side. It's an important muscle to stretch because if you're sitting down for a lot of the day, the back of the leg here can get quite tight. So that's the end of our workout today. Well done for staying with me to the end. If you manage to keep these workouts up regularly, then you will start to see a difference in your strength, in your mobility, and in your balance. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.